Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about an interesting topic with The Walking Dead. One where it looks like Daryl and Father Gabriel both know that Rick is alive, or at least think he's alive. And we have some interviews with Norman Reedus and Seth Gilliam talking about this because both these characters are hugely connected with Rick, especially Father Gabriel, because he's the only person who knows about Jadis and trading people in the helicopter and all that. So we're going to discuss all that in today's video, including the interviews. But before I do begin, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe. But let's get started. So before we get into interviews, a little bit backstory about why this topic is even a topic is because, first of all, beginning with Father Gabriel, he's the only person, like I said, who knows about Jadis and the helicopter people. Now Jadis saved Rick, and it's been 6 years, and they didn't really. I feel like the characters should put two and two together, especially Father Gabriel, because Jadis just disappeared also. So she wasn't really connected with that bridge. So did they just assume she died or something? I don't know. I'm giving the show the benefit of the doubt and just saying that, okay, they probably discussed it during this 6 year time jump. But still, I feel like that's super odd how, I guess they could have questioned Jadis' disappearance, but we just didn't see it. So that's why I think it feels a little odd for me. Second of all, how come nobody sees the helicopter except the people that are involved with Jadis? Rick, Negan, and Father Gabriel are the only people who have seen that helicopter, which is so weird to me because the first time Rick saw it, the helicopter just flew over him. So how come that never happens to anybody else? Again, yes, I know the reason because of plot or whatever, but I'm saying that I feel like, especially with Daryl too, because the thing with Daryl, and we're gonna get into Norman's interview, but we saw that in episode 6 where he was searching for Rick, and he told Carol that he couldn't find a body. So maybe they can have a discussion, but Father Gabriel and Daryl really never talk, so I get it. And now they're distracted with the Whisperer, so that conversation is probably never gonna happen. I mean, it probably is gonna happen later on, but not anytime soon. And if Father Gabriel dies during this Whisper arc, that knowledge is going with him into the grave. So hopefully he told somebody about that helicopter, or Jadis could possibly come back. But we also saw in episode 9, Michonne was thanking Daryl for that he kept looking for Rick. So in the back of Daryl's head, I know he knows Rick is alive, and we're gonna get into the interview in just a second. And then also, I feel like Father Gabriel would also, have some sort of suspicion. But anyways, let's get into this interview starting with Norman Reedus'. So when they asked him on The Talking Dead about, that little plot line of him looking for Rick, this is what he had to say. He said, "I think he wants confirmation. I think he's the type of guy that he needs facts. Even with Sophia, he doesn't give up. And until he finds a body, he's going to keep looking." So there you go. I love that he brought up Sophia, because when Sophia, back in season 2, when Sophia came out of that barn, we saw how heartbroken Daryl was. And everybody was like sort of giving up after a while that they couldn't find Sophia. Even Carol was. I remember Carol was talking to Daryl saying that we don't know if she's going to come back. And Daryl, because Daryl was going out injuring himself looking for Sophia, and Carol was feeling bad for him and was telling him that even Carol had some doubts, but Daryl didn't, because he didn't find a body. And that's one of the things I love about Daryl. And he's obviously gonna keep looking for Rick. Like I said earlier, he's gonna be super distracted now because of the Whispers, so he probably isn't gonna get around to that until later on. Or after the Whisper arc, he might go back searching, or they might get a hint or something. And I really hope they drop hints, because I think it's going to keep the fans intrigued. I mean, we already know Rick is alive, but I think all fans want the reunion between the group and Rick. And I think if they drop little nods here and there that Rick is alive, like they did with Daryl, searching for a body, that's going to be really cool. And then also, comicbook.com went on to report this. They said, having witnessed, this is what they had to say about this is their intake on it. They said, having witnessed Rick's apparent death in a Walker swarm bridge explosion, Daryl retreated into the woods on a 6-year search to recover Rick's body. So I never really thought about it that way, that he literally went out to search for Rick for 6 years. Because now that I think about it, that makes sense. There's not much to do when you're on your own for 6 years. So if he was really gone for 6 years, just because we saw him kind of walk off into the woods after he saw the bridge explosion, so he probably didn't go back or anything. So if he was searching, for 6 years, he probably did it at least once a day, like because he's not that busy. So if he's searching for 6 years and he didn't never find a walker or a body that looked like Rick, I'm sure the dude knows that he's alive somewhere. So moving on to Seth Gilliam, he had an interview with the Huffington Post, and they asked him, could Father Gabriel hold answers surrounding the disappearance of the believed dead Rick Grimes? And he said, I don't know, I would hope so, because what he wants ultimately is to be of use and to be of service. I would hope that any information that he had would be useful information and could be of service to helping solve the mystery to the puzzle. So I like what he said here, because that makes sense. He's right. Father Gabriel is always trying to like fit in with the group and be of service. We saw that way back since he joined, in season 5 and 6, especially season 6, when the group really didn't like him that much because he kind of, said that they couldn't be trusted in Alexandria. Ever since then, ever since the group got mad at him and, Father Gabriel said, like, you know what, I can actually trust these guys. Ever since then, Father Gabriel is always trying to step up and, be the man and help out. He took Judith when they were, surrounded by walkers. He's done a lot of good stuff for the group. So, it's really weird though, because they didn't talk about it in any episodes that we've seen so far. Father Gabriel hasn't talked about it just yet. So again, we just have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they did it. The article from comicbook.com also even says that they say, while Gabriel can assume that Anne connected with this new group as intended, he hasn't suspected the truth, that a wounded Rick survived the explosion and was rescued by Anne, both passengers aboard a helicopter that then flew away to parts unknown. So I guess in a way that also makes sense, because the last time Gabriel saw Anne, she said, come with me to this new place. So Gabriel could also kind of assume that she just left. It's hard to, like, because, based on that explosion, it definitely looked like Rick died. So, maybe Gabriel, thought that she just left because, she basically said her final goodbye to Gabriel and said, like, you want to come with me and, live a good life in this different community. And when he said no, she knocked him out, but then she didn't end up, killing him or anything. She just left. So I think Gabriel can also assume that, she just left to that community and she's not part of, like, they don't really have to assume she died. They could have just assumed that she left. Also, going back to the dropping hints that Rick is alive, throughout the next couple, seasons or whatever, going back to that could also come into play with Michonne, because we know Michonne is leaving next season. But they did say they're trying to work it out so Michonne can return for Rick's Rick's movie. So there's no way they're gonna kill Michonne. That would just be like, I think that'll be like almost suicide for the show, because I think everybody wants, not really though, because I think the show is gonna go on no matter who left. Like we saw that with Rick. But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of fans, I think, are waiting for that reunion. So there's no way in hell that they're gonna kill Michonne. I just don't see it. So, like you said, they're trying to work it around Denai Guerrera's schedule, and she most likely is going to be appearing in Rick's movies, which I think is a good thing, actually, because that reunion could possibly come a lot faster than we first intended. And in order for Michonne to be in the Rick movies, there has to be some sort of hint that, because she's going to go there, Rick isn't going to come back, not anytime soon at least. So, season 10 being the final season for her, and it's going to be a limited season, she's going to have to go there. And, dropping hints is a great way to do that. They drop some sort of hint, and then Gabriel could also chime in and be like, yeah, Anne was trading people for, supplies or whatever to this big community. Maybe Rick is somehow there. And this is obviously probably going to be happening like after the Whisper War. I mean, it doesn't really have to be after. Like, Rick loves Michonne. So any little indication or like proof that Rick is alive, I'm sure Michonne would just like, jump on board and go look for him. And I think the best way to do that is bringing back the helicopter. Because let's say the helicopter comes and somebody from the helicopter literally just comes and tells them about this community. I think, that would be, I think, most suitable, because the only way she's going to go there is from a helicopter. So, I think that'll be a good end for Michonne. Maybe she says that, I'm not going to be gone that long, and she makes a deal with them saying that it's only going to be a couple, weeks or something. And she doesn't want to bring, her kids, obviously, because she's going to a random community, and she has family and friends back home. She can trust people to take care of Judith and, RJ. So she would leave them there and go and find Rick. And probably and obviously stay a little bit longer because she's not coming back to the show. And I kind of see that happening in the second movie or third movie. It could happen in the third movie, but just because I think that first movie they said that we're going to learn about the community, and it's going to be like a pickup from episode 5 of season 9. So, Jadis could also come back possibly. She said, Pollyanna McIntosh, she said she's done for season 9, like not done with the show just yet. So we're going to have to wait and see. But, I think if that second movie would be their reunion, I think it'll be really cool. And then also they can possibly both Denai Guerrera and Andy Lincoln can come back for the final season. But man, Gabriel needs to speak up and tell somebody about this helicopter group, or there needs to be some sort of indication. I don't think Daryl would go. I mean, Daryl could go because he's been searching for Rick, so maybe he could be the one to find hints. But yeah, both these characters know that, or I feel like both these characters have some sort of sense that Rick is alive. So we're going to have to wait and see. Hopefully we get some hints or something. Probably not anytime soon, but like maybe like in season 10, early on in season 10 when they're wrapping up Michonne's story. But I am going to wrap it up there, but I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below because there is a ton to talk about. So, what are your thoughts on this whole, Rick situation with Daryl and Father Gabriel and Michonne and so much to talk about. So get down there in the comments and, have a good, lively discussion. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. And for more Walking Dead content just like this, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.